Welcome to episode number 4. We're going to tackle some stringers in this episode. Got another fresh stack of K-Cell, 8 more boards. Got 5 earlier. That should be enough to wrap up the project. A lot of people keep asking why I'm not using plywood. Now listen here. Unless you got a drug addiction, don't use plywood. If you do have a drug addiction, get help. Still don't use plywood. These boards I weighed and they average 35 to 53 pounds a piece. Marine plywood is 77 pounds for 3/4 inch sheet. Right off the bat, you're saving a lot of weight. It's a lot stronger, and people think, oh, this board is so expensive. My dad's got a commercial account. I'm getting it for $3.40 a sheet. And they go, oh my word, you're paying $3.40 a sheet. Plywood's not free, dummy. You still got to pay for the plywood, so it's only $220 some a sheet extra to use stuff that'll last a lifetime. So do the smart thing, do the right thing. Use this stuff, and then that way there won't be more videos of guys like me tearing wood out of boats. You'll be glad you did. So this is just another reason why wood belongs in buggies, but not boats. So this brace here, you think water will never get in there, but the floor got wet and it wicked up, soaking wet. Look at that. If I see one more person putting wood in a boat, I'm gonna slap them. So this morning I'm taking measurements to put my stringers in. So I got that K-Cell down on top of where the original floor was tabbed in. So we're going to be raising the floor right around 1 3/4 to 2 inches. So we've got 3 stringers on each side. The original floor, they had the lowest stringer in the center, so the floor had a belly in it. It's not that it sagged. Can't say that it sagged. The front end of these stringers are still pretty tight on this side. The other side was trash. But they had the shortest stringers in the center. Quality control apparently isn't a priority, or it wasn't the day this boat was built. So what I'm doing, where the first stringer was, I'm putting one shim under it, 1/4 inch. I'm going to be raising the center of the floor 3/4 inch. And then when I get to the second stringer to take my measurement, I'm going to put 2 on top. And then when I get to the center one, take my measurement, we're going to have 3. That way we've got a nice crown in the floor. Going the proper way. That'd be wild. So we got a wee bit of a belly. About 1.5 feet up. Teeny tiny. We'll put a bunch of lead in there. See if we can't bring it back true before we put our stringers in. Oh, out of breath. Put some lead in the boat. We're back straight as an arrow. Not no broken arrow either. Crooked arrow, straight. Think this day'd ever come. Getting close to putting some stringers in, cutting some glass. They look a lot bigger when they're not in the boat. Got the one side pretty much ready to go in. Just need a little trimming on the corners there for the wiring. But those two are ready, and the big boy center one. So I'm getting ready to start putting the first stringer in. I'm going to make a putty mix with some chopped fiber to hit that very corner. That way I'll get a nice roll up on it when I go to glass it back in. I kind of want to have that a little bit thicker on that corner anyhow, because when I'm crabbing from time to time, you get complacent and you let the ropes get up in there. I need to stop doing that, but it happens. Now we'll have a little bit more meat there. Extra meat is good. So I keep talking about my chopped fiber mix. What I do is I put chopped fiber into the resin. You want to put your hardener in first, otherwise you'll soak it into the resin and won't ever get any strength out of it. And you gotta stir it for a while to get it to really absorb into the resin, and then once it does, I've got a bucket with a mixture of milled fiber and Aerosil. Milled fiber makes it crazy strong. Aerosil makes a nice putty-like substance like Cavasil, but it's got more strength to it. You see it doesn't get real consistent with just the fiber. That's where this mixture of Aerosil and milled fiber comes in to make a beautiful putty. That's about perfect for getting in that corner. That way it's not so dry that it doesn't bond well. It's not so wet it's going to run away. We'll mix this up and mush it in the corner and then go right over it with glass. And that glass will form right to it, wrap around the corner. I like to do it while it's still wet. That way it doesn't have any hard issues, any hard spots. It just fits like a glove. So we've got the inside of the first stringer glassed and then wrapped down to right here. We're getting ready to overlap and then come down and just past where the second stringer is going to sit. We're going to do a layer 1.5 ounces just to get a good bond to the case-cell. They say the case-cell really likes the 1.5 ounce first, and then 2 complete layers of 1708 the whole way around, and then I'm going to do one shorter piece in the corner. Most of the original glass from the original stringers is still on the floor, so it's going to be making the floor a lot thicker since I'm not going to be putting foam back in. That's another question I keep getting. Why don't you put foam in? Short and simple answer is we sink like real men over here. That and foam always gets wet. It's not if it gets wet, it's when, and I don't have any tolerance for jobs that need to be done again. On the top we put this 2.5 inch piece of K-cell to give it a little bit of a lip there. Put a nice 45-degree bevel on the bottom, and we routed the top edges, top corners, so the glass rolls down over it real nice. We're getting there, slowly but surely. So I'm getting tired of sanding. There's so many steps, and by the time you get to the step to put the glass down, it's lost its tack and you got to resand it. So I put some peel ply on this stuff here. You peel it up, it comes out hard and finished, not that gummy. That way when you go to sand it, it sands like butter. I didn't do in here because I'm not going to be putting any more glass here, but when the next stringer comes in, I need to bring the glass up here, so now I'll be able to rough it up without using 58 sanding pads. Should make the job move a little bit quicker, a little bit easier. And I'm getting ready to bed that next stringer in. That's why I left this strip here undone. So I get it in while this stuff still got some tack to it. And then tomorrow morning we'll get that inner piece sanded out, roughed up again. So I'm getting ready to measure the height for the cutting the second stringer down. If you remember, I was going to do 1 shim for each stringer, so the closer I get into the center, every stringer I add 1 shim. But I added that block as well just to get above here to make it a little easier. So what I'm going to do now is put this block here, trace underneath it, and that'll give me the exact height of 2 shims up, and then we're going to chalk line it, cut it with the skill saw. That's pretty easy. That way it's straight, true, quick, easy. What more do you want? I know what I want. I want a boat full of grouper, but we're not there yet.